Hey everybody, I hope and pray that you're doing well today as we come to our word from the word. And today that word is should. Should. Now I'll be honest with you, here in Luke chapter 12 today, it ties in perfectly with our message from Sunday as we were there in Acts chapter 4. And the fact that, Peter and John have been arrested, faced with a lot of threats. And as they come back to share with their church family, they don't all get up together and run. They come together and pray. And I believe that's because they remembered these words. These words had been passed on, that they remembered the words of Jesus here in Luke chapter 12 today. Let's look at verses 4 through 7. And I say to you, my friends, do not be afraid of those who kill the body and after have no more that they can do. But I will show you whom you should fear. Fear him who, after he has killed, has power to cast into hell. Yes, I say to you, fear him. Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 copper coins, and not one of them is forgotten before God? But the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Do not fear, therefore, you are of more value than many sparrows. The last two verses make you say, well, that doesn't sound like it goes along with it. But if you think about it, he is telling them not to be afraid of those who can kill the body. And he's letting them know with those last two verses of just how valuable they are. So you take the first part that, hey, don't fear those who could come against you and kill you. You think about it, it's not that any of us should have a death wish, and it's not, what is it, fatalism, where we're just going to give up and not fight at all. It's not that. It's the idea that I don't have to live my life in fear of someone who can only kill my body. What I need to live in fear of is the one who, after I'm dead, can cast my soul into hell. And so, with that mindset, we would all stop and say, you know what, that's right. Because in the next life, that's it. Right? It's not that we're, as some would think, you're reincarnated to try this life over again. No, this physical life is over, and we move into our spiritual eternity, where we will have glorified bodies if we go to heaven, and you'll also have a body that will burn, but not be burned up if you go to hell. Now, just think about that: the torment and pain of hell, or and see that lasts for eternity. And that's the ones we tend to fear, those who can kill our bodies here for a moment, for a momentary act of death, versus God, who could send us to an eternal death. So he says, I'll tell you who you need to fear. Now he backs that up, because remember, he started this verse by saying friends. He starts this topic by saying, my friends. It wasn't that he was going to, it's like, okay, well, hey, if you're not faithful, then I'm going to take back everything I've done and I'm going to cast you into hell. It was an encouragement for them to know that, look, don't think your life is not important. You are my friends. Let me tell you who you need to fear. And he's telling them why you don't need to worry about these others. Then he gives the examples, right? For example, the sparrows. He says, do you not understand that? I mean, you think about, we don't think anything about a sacrifice or a little bird, and you're sold for just mere pennies, right? You don't think about that at all, but God does. He says, so if not one pharaoh falls to, not one sparrow falls to the ground without his knowledge and without him caring about it, then how much more important are we? And so if he notices even the little things, if even the little things matter to God, then obviously, yes, your life matters to God. And I think especially in this season in which we're in, and I know in our community, and even is this time and this focus right now in this month on suicide awareness and prevention and mental health awareness, and isn't it something that we need to be reminded that God does care about your situation? God does care, because you're more important than birds. As you've seen on our church sign this month, it says, He loved you enough, right? If you've ever wondered if you were loved, God said you were to die for. So he sent his son Jesus because he loved you so much to die in your place so that you could experience eternal life in heaven, not eternal death in hell. Told you today the word is should. What should we fear? You say, well, you go to Romans and it says, well, whom shall we fear? No one. No one except God. You know, it's quite serious. I started to say it's quite funny, but it's very quite serious that if we fear God as we ought to, everything else will fall into place. Our attitudes fall in line. Our even our emotions fall in line. Our thought process, our actions, our witness, our studying of the word, our prayer lives, and you can go on and on and on. If we fear God as we ought to, everything else will fall into line, fall into place. Today, you know who you should fear. So the question will be, whom will you fear? God bless you, and I pray you have a great, great day.